He said over 10. What is the pain? I say 100. That's what I told him. That the pain is intense upon penetration. Went in with gloves.
Just like that.
My God. The entire hospital must have. I was groaning. Pain! And I was screaming. And this guy I kept trying to remove his hand. He was, be careful, oh, if you don't do it, it's surgery. Oh. That's it, surgery.
Do you know that there are women who cannot have sex? I mean, they have properly formed vaginas, but penetration cannot happen no matter how hard you try. See, this is not, hey, this person is a virgin, that's why penetration cannot occur. It's not about the hymen. It's about you can't get it inside. And a lot of women, especially in our part of the world, Nigeria, are suffering from it. That's why I called a friend of mine, Tito the writer, who has not just had this condition, she has conquered it and she's helping other women have better sex by beating this condition. Look, see, if you're here, you're very lucky. And if you know someone who is suffering from this condition, who has confided in you, please tell them to come watch this video, because at the end of this video, there will be freedom for a lot of people. Today we're talking about vaginismus, and let's welcome our guest.
Tito, Alpha.
Hi,
We've been saying we're going to do this, but finally we're here. Let's talk about the issue that nobody wants to talk about. Because everybody is assuming that part of the body does not exist when you're on social media.
Especially Christians.
Yeah, you came supercharged.
Yes, ma. That's my job.
But before we start, please tell us who you are.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Tito Sam Oladako, popularly known as Tito the writer. And I am basically a Jesus brand influencer. That's what I call myself. So I do videos, content creator. I am a YouTuber. I'm basically a minister, and I teach the Bible, Jesus, on social media.
Yes. And so today we're going to be talking about vaginismus. So Tito, I want to ask you, what's your business with this vaginismus?
It might be, I wish I didn't have any concern, but I mean, it looked for me and I've decided to finish his life.
He find you?
Yeah, he find me come. Got married in 2020, 26th December, and 27th December I discovered that, okay, so we didn't do anything on the night of our wedding. We're really tired. There was a lot of drama leading to our wedding. So the wedding was break.
So that thing they say, wedding night.
I beg, we slept for 12 hours. We slept. Immediately we got home from the venue, we got to the hotel, slept. Then we were in Ibadan because my parents are based in Ibadan. So we came to Lagos. The hotel was in Lekki. And then I went to the hotel, then we tried the next day. So first of all, there is no rhetoric around sex. I think a lot of people just expect that you know what to do as virgins, as people that I don't know where it came from.
The manual is inside your body.
Yeah, that you just know. And my husband also was a virgin, so like I don't know why we kind of thought that we would know what to. Anyway, we didn't know what to do. Carefully. It was the pain that announced that we didn't know what to do. It was the pain. So upon penetration, the pain was intense. I'm sure that they heard us, that they just did not come and disturb us.
Any people inside the hotel?
In the hotel. It was very painful. I can remember. It was so painful. I don't wish that pain on anybody. It's a very painful experience. So, for me, I don't know for other
people. So after that experience, what were the questions that entered your head? Is it, because it's very easy to say, because I'm still a virgin.
Yeah.
That's why it's painful like this. So after that particular experience, what happened after?
Okay, so that we immediately went on Google. Okay, I was crying because it felt like it's not because of my father's house, my father's family following me. Do you understand? Because at that time I didn't even know how common it is, because it's very common. We went on Google, so of course we thought, it's just being virgins and all that. But then it didn't happen in 2 weeks. It didn't happen in 3 weeks. It didn't happen in a month. Then it's not virginity. It's not virginity. I'd heard about vaginismus just in passing. but I never thought that was it. So went to the hospital. I don't know if I'm skipping, but that's what
No,
happened.
no,
Went to the
yeah.
hospital, saw this demon of a doctor who literally violated me. So a lot of doctors I noticed
What did he do?
fingered me, basically. So what happened is I went in, let me give you the entire gist.
Yes, that's what I was.
So it was 26th of January. This was a month after our wedding.
Mm-hmm.
We hadn't yet consummated. 2 weeks after, I'd called my mom to tell her, but it sounded really strange. Like, okay, so she downplayed it's just your mind. Tried get KY jelly. We already got KY jelly. So our KY jelly is a lubricant. So it felt like it was sliding. It's just like you apply lubricant to a wall. It's just going to slide. That's just it. So that's what happened. We did that, and 26th, it was clear that I needed to see a gynecologist. This was my first gynecology visit. Drove to the hospital. I just believed that it was something, maybe like a drug or sort out. So I was in an up mood as I went to the hospital. Got there, did the legal work, saw a GP first. So he examined me. The guy looked really lost. I could see that he didn't know what I was talking about.
Okay.
Just kept asking, but you are married? I said, yeah, but anyway, he referred me to the gynecologist who is the CMD of the hospital. Immediately I walked in, I remember that I felt that things were off. First of all, there were no name cards. I couldn't see any name tags anywhere. I asked for his name. He didn't want to tell me his name. Anyway, but I was very uncomfortable because it's my gynecologist first. So he asked me what was going on. I told him. Then he started to started to laugh. All those kind of sarcastic laughs. I'm like, so you're a virgin? I said, my hope is that I'm not now anymore. I've been married for 1 week, for 1 month at a time. He says, oh, so your husband, is he a virgin too? I said, yes. He said, how long did you guys date for? I said, almost 3 years. And then he laughs. Like, this was like a full-on laughter. So you guys didn't have sex for 3 years. What are you doing? I said, sorry, sir, but apparently, do guys, the kingdom I represent, we don't usually do that. I tried my best not to. Nobody said we don't try, but hello, we sure tried. We got over, And he laughed. He was like, yeah, that's why now. That's why you guys don't know. Well, no, we didn't have sex, but we did stuff.
Tried not to.
We tried not to. No, it wasn't easy.
That's what I'm saying.
No, have you seen my husband? He's a fine guy. It's not easy. So, he laughed and then he said, okay, that he would check. He would examine me at first. So he did. He examined me and he said, oh, while he was checking, he goes, oh, yeah, it's true, you're a virgin. I said, He said, yeah, because, there are a lot of women that will come here, they will do there and see, and then they'll be lying that they are virgin. It's not my business, sir. First of all, I'm uncomfortable. I'm very uncomfortable. So he goes, oh, there's a rubber band. It's like a rubber. It didn't sound like it's like a rubber band. Just blocking. I'll just do it. It's just it.
I was basically referring to the hymen.
He said it's like, no, the rubber band was blocking the hymen from being open. So I'm like, okay, at this point, I already knew that I hit the record button on my phone because I just felt I'm not comfortable. Something is off, but I didn't know what wasn't because this was my first gynecologist visit. But I requested that a female personnel would be there. So he called for his matron. She was there. She too was looking at me weirdly like, what's this? Like, what are you saying she has? I laid on the table and this guy went in. No lubricant, no anesthesia, no. I told him that the pain, he said over 10. What is the pain? I said 100. That's what I told him. That the pain is intense upon penetration. Went in with gloves.
Just like that.
My God. The entire hospital must have. I was groaning. Every time I think about it, I still shake a bit because the pain was crazy. It was intense. I don't know. It's like this part of your leg, of my leg, would be like in, I don't know how to say, pain. And I was screaming, and this guy I kept trying to remove his hand. He was, be careful, oh, if you don't do it, it's surgery, oh. That's it, surgery. I was in pain. I fell off the table. So that was when the the matron screamed at him to stop. Like, she's in pain. Like, that's it, it's done. You're just screaming. That's it, it's done. The tears were just coming down my eyes. I wasn't even trying to cry. Tears were just coming, like my body was exhaling. I was in pain, more mentally than physically at this point. I was in pain. I couldn't even drive back. I just tried to call my husband. As you can see, I'm still shaking. I just tried to call my husband. Just come and get me. Come and get me. Come and get me. Come and get me. That's all I just said. Come and get me. Where are you? I told him. So he took balls to the hospital. Immediately he saw me. He knew that something is gone. Immediately he saw me. I could see that he was angry, but at the same time, he was really trying to understand what was going on. The matron had come out to tell me that when my husband gets there, the doctor wants to see him. We go back in. My husband leads me back into his office. Then he goes, no, it's because you people are naive.
Even after that,
it's because you people are naive. Do you understand? So sex must happen today. Do you understand? You people must make love today. If not, the vagina will close again. I looked at my husband and said, if you mistakenly, by chance, touch me today, blood will flow. I was bleeding. The entire drive home was so silent. He tried to ask me what, but I want to talk and I would just be crying. For like a year afterwards, anytime I think about it, I would be crying because I just felt like, guy, it felt like you were punishing me for being a virgin, for having the temerity to be a virgin at 28. What? I don't understand. So I called my auntie, who is a consultant. She's now a professor in UCH. She was livid. She was livid. As in, she was so angry. How? He didn't give you anything? He didn't give you any painkillers? Did you not tell him it was painful? I was like, all these questions people are asking me. At this point, I just want this thing gone. So, like, I couldn't really process what happened because I just wanted a solution. We ended up in UCH the next week, scheduled for surgery. The plan was, it looked like they still didn't get it, but at least they had they wanted to know what they wanted to know, and they wanted to give like solution. So it's scheduled for a surgery. My pain threshold is minus 50. That is, don't come near me.
You remind me of someone I know, but
that is, don't come near me. So I had to be put under completely. Even there, apparently, I was told that I was talking. I was clearing them.
Even while we were under.
My auntie, because my auntie was there. I was just calling her name. First of all, I didn't know when she came in. I wasn't conscious. But she said immediately she came in, I just started calling her name. And I said, tell them.
So when they put you on,
yeah,
what was the procedure for?
They were supposed to cut. That's what they told me. But they said when they checked, the hymen was already gone. So they did a digital dilation. That's what they said. Maybe they did. So because when I came to it was still painful.
Sorry to take you back.
Yeah.
During the first examination with the
crazy person. Yeah.
Did you have any bleeding that day?
Yes, I did. And I think, so we had visitors coming over that day for sleepover. And the excitement, we had gotten stuff, we were going to have movie nights, just that entire drama. And we decided, you get So we decided that, okay, let's try. This was like a week after the horrible experience, because some part of us still thought that maybe it actually worked, or maybe, Anyway, so we tried, and because of the adrenaline, my husband just went in, and it felt like, I looked at him like, you betrayed me. That's what I said. So, like, I was so stunned by the pain, and but a part of us felt like, okay, he went in, that's progress. No, it wasn't progress, because the next time we tried, it was actually tighter than the entire time before. At this time, we hadn't realized that we're dealing with something psychological. No doctor had said so. We're just focused on going.
Physical,
yes, just going. So we ended up at UCH. Initially, before the surgery, the doctor prescribed lidocaine, lubricant. So the idea was to numb the vagina, so I don't feel anything. So we tried. I think even lidocaine self knew that I'm in the wrong place because I felt everything. Yes, when I put it, because I put it here, this was numb for about 2 hours. I didn't feel
But when
anything.
you put it
But
inside,
I felt everything, even on a heightened level. So, I mean, so then the doctor said, okay, because he didn't want to do the surgery initially, the professor, he didn't want to do surgery. Just kept thinking, let's try something else, let's try something else. So we did the surgery. It was a Thursday morning. I remember.
sorry.
Yeah.
Did they tell you other forms of treatment
Other
aside
forms
from just surgery, or
They
just
don't
went
even know
straight
the
to surgery?
name. As in, it was after the surgery that he Googled or he studied or he read books and
they
then
found out that
now said, that's when what's the word?
vaginismus
No. What's that thing where the doctor tells you what it is that you
diagnosis.
diagnose that it was
It's not diagnosed.
I know, of course. It just went off my head.
Igbo
I was
brothers,
trying
even
to-
for hearing of it, it's not diagnosed, it's diagnosed.
So then he said something. My husband, this was the day after the surgery, post-surgery conversation, whatever. I was very dizzy. Well, I think the anesthesia, I was dizzy for like 2 weeks, non-stop, very dizzy. So I had gone upstairs, and if you know, it's very high rise. So I was upstairs and I'd gone there, and the doctor said, "Oh, there's one more thing that we can try.
Okay.
We will numb you waist down." We'll numb you waist down, and then your husband will try. So maybe he's not doing it well. We'll be at the other side. So it's going to be like a surgery or practical. But immediately my husband just stood up and said, "Never." That's what my husband said. He just said never. He walked out. I said, "You for tell me, oh." So I would have known, because you're talking to a man of faith. He's not going to answer you. He said, "What? Never going to do that." Immediately he said, as man just said it, then he said, "Okay, there are other ways. Just keep trying, other things you can do, blah, 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 blah." I was done. At that time, I just knew that I'm actually done with this. This is 2 months into marriage, and I've already seen all of these things. We got back to Lagos February 14.
This point was 2 months.
Yeah, February 14, no sex after marriage. So now, every other, you see, because it's a psychological thing, the stress worsened it. I didn't want sex. I didn't want you to touch me. I didn't want, don't even smile in a way that I know that that's what you're thinking about. Don't try me. You get So now our marriage was now going through it. You know, this is early in marriage. You don't want me to touch you. You don't want me to hug you. You don't want me to, but you are hugging your friends. I'm like, I don't want to have sex with my friends. They're not going to have sex with me. You know, and it was, now we had to deal with communication. We had to deal with catering. I had to cater to him. I had to learn that I wasn't the only one going through this pain. You know, it was hard. It was hard. 3rd month, 4th month, 5th month, 6th month. At some point, we didn't even try for like 2 months. 8th month, 9th month. 9th month, there was a documentary on Netflix called Sex, Love, and Goop.
Yeah.
A lot of the things they did there was absolute nonsense, but there was one that they did.
Wow, glory review.
There was one that they did. You know, I was fast forwarding because I think my favorite couple was the black couple, if you've watched it. And I was fast forwarding a lot of things, and they were 2 ladies, and the 2 ladies were partners. One of the ladies had vaginismus, and so they were seeing a sexual. They had already moved it forward. Those people just said I should go back. What are they talking about? So what's my business with 2 ladies that I beg, let me go and look for the black couple, you know? And I went back and watched it. Apparently, she had vaginismus, and the sex therapist was leading her through the process of breaking through it. So I watched it, and she actually had a breakthrough right there. And she was crying and all of that. So the method that she employed, I lodged it in my head, because this was the first time that someone could tell me that it's a psychological thing and that there's a way forward. I'm not weird. Because at some point we stopped talking to anybody. We stopped telling people this was it. People were still giving innuendos. You people, when are we expecting? So
as per Nigerians,
you get that naturally, you get. So this was 9th month, 10th month, October, yeah. So in my head, I started to have that conversation with myself where, so it feels like I want to put my hand in my eye would naturally close. I felt like that's what my body was doing. So my body was seeing my husband as a stranger, was closing up, you know, as well. So I started having that conversation. So there were mental conversations in my head. It's not a stranger. It's part of us. I would enjoy sex. I just kept having that in my head. You know, my husband was there, but he didn't. An investment banker, you know, they really, if he's not model and you know, they really listen like that. So I remember he was working on something, but I just kept having that conversation myself. So we were going to try, but we had a major break in our marriage. I moved out that month. Just as, you know, it was a horrible fight. It was ugly. It was an ugly fight. I moved out. My friends got involved. Close friends got involved. My best friend called me, you know. So October was no go. And because it's a psychological thing, all this stress is worsening it. You know, which is what I tell. Let me finish my story before I now start going into other ladies, because mine was actually the best experience I've had so far. So the next month, November, we started working on our marriage, spoke with a counselor, masked as a therapist, because in therapy, you don't tell them your opinion. Moving on. So we had to come to place ourselves, prayed, we got okay. 18th of November 2021. We just said, let's try the couch. You get, because you're not called to be a missionary alone. Try other styles. I say that with all conviction. So we just said, okay, something had happened. Very funny. A rat died in our room, and we're very tired. This was now a great time in our marriage. I said, you know what? Let's just drive the bed outside the sitting room. Of course, we had praise and worship session because we were in the sitting room. So let's just try the couch. It was painful, but it happened that day. That was my husband said, now I'm married. I said, hey, my God, since that we've been married.
He knew you.
He said that was the first thing he said. And he legit cried. This was hard. It was.
That means he was even going through it himself.
He never admitted that he was going through it. It was the first time we're recording for YouTube. That was when I noticed that was when he actually said his own side of the story. How hard it was for him, how he would see me in pain and be wondering, how am I supposed to derive pleasure from this? You know, how he felt, he regretted being a virgin. He said he must have renounced it for like, I'm going to preach it. You must have sex before marriage. Try. You know, so I mean, it was really hard for him, and because he's a man, he felt he had to cater to me, so he never showed that emotional side. You know, so we kept trying after, and that was it. That was how it got.
So, when it comes to vaginismus, basically, there are like two kinds.
Yeah.
The primary,
primary, secondary. Yeah.
So I'm guessing from your story.
Primary.
Were there any psychological things that happened to you while you were a child, you know, that probably put certain ideas about sex in your head?
Religion is
Please tell me about it.
No, but okay, so there's a rhetoric about sex in church, and that's why people that want to have sex before marriage, I'm a Christian, so I can only speak for their religion. I don't have a religion, but their religion. So there's a rhetoric, sex is bad, and then because I walk down the aisle, it's now a duty. It's not even good though, it's a duty. That's it.
It's never something you're supposed to enjoy.
It's not something I'm supposed to enjoy. It becomes a duty. So I've heard, I got married at 28. I heard that sex was bad. And then now it's a duty. You must give your husband. Anytime. You can't even have a dick. You can't even be tired. No problem. Immediately, just, am I a machine? If you know that you're going to enjoy this thing, that the man will cater to you as much as you cater to him.
Sometimes you can cure headache too.
Do you get me?
But let's move on.
Yeah, I don't understand. What are we talking about? So there's a rhetoric about sex. It's sad, you know, and I wrote it in my book. There's actually, it's The Church and Sex. That's the title of the chapter. Because it feels like it's a horrible thing. Now, you want to talk. You want to talk.
So for those of you who are wondering about the book, it's this. Pop My Cherry Now. And you should get it. Mostly online copies. For those of you who don't like to read, We have excuse. You can download it on your phone, your tablets, whatever. We'll post the link in the caption somewhere. So like, but you should read this book.
So I mean that's first of all, it's the fact that I remember in teenage church there was a sex class. You know, they were talking about premarital sex, don't have sex before marriage and all that. And they were talking about even if you were raped, you had participated in sin, it's non-consensual. You didn't do it, you didn't plan it, but you also have to, like, there has to be propitiation for your sin. As how?
Joking.
No, I'm not. I don't understand.
Someone told that to teenagers.
Yeah. The person may have different.
Let's close. What?
Amen. No, but I'm saying I'm talking about church. I'm not even vilifying them. It's just the entire structure and system of religion. What you want to preach is that people should wait until marriage. I get. But don't now paint the thing bad. Just tell them that this thing is great. This is the purpose for which it was made. I'm speaking as a believer in Christ. Yeah. You know, this is why it was made. However, it's not a bad thing. It's just saying it is better you do it in these confines. Why is it bad? It's bad. You are treated as bad. You have sex, you are treated as a dirty person. My first book is Cascading Waters. It's a story about a lady who gets pregnant before marriage. And I wrote it from what I'd seen in church. Somebody gets pregnant before marriage and somehow you just treat her like, or him like dirt. You can't do that. That's not the heart of our faith. And that's why I say I'm Jesus' brand influencer, because my guy has been misrepresented for my entire life. Until now, they even want to shut me up. You can't shut me up. Let me just tell you now. I will talk. Because, I mean, it's just one. Religion is number one. And I'm telling you because when I did a study on vaginismus as at 2021, 2022, 68% of ladies who have vaginismus, that's almost 70%, are evangelical ladies.
If you were to give me a number
of people that have reached out to me,
like how many would you say?
So when the story went viral in 2021, when I stopped counting, it was about 2,000 ladies. When I stopped counting, there was a guy who was insulting me on Instablog. His wife was in my DM. Because a lot of people actually thought that, first of all, you shouldn't even be talking about this. Why are you talking about this? You're keeping it quiet. First of all, silence died with me. The moment I told my pastor at the time, I said, I will squeeze the life out of vaginismus. He tried me, he messed up. I will finish it because it's so annoying that when I needed resources, first of all, they were only whites. There was no black person.
And what they usually tell you is, this is an uncommon condition.
It is so common. It's 1 in 4.
The moment you dig in and you start to reach out to other people start to, you actually realize.
People get married. I'll get message. I got married last month. I got married 3 months ago. I got married. We've not been able. Some celebrity wedding that was big. I'll just see the name. I'll be like, I saw this name on Bella Niger. They just got married. And it's not happening. It's not happening. I'm already scared. I'm like, first of all, don't even be afraid. But that's to let you know how this thing is so common. And it's mostly Christian women. Mostly Christian. Yet when I was talking about it, going from church to church, churches were forming his melty. In your church, sir.
There are people suffering.
That they've not had sex. I have a lady of 11 years. I have someone of 7 years. And it's worse when it takes that long.
Please clarify. A lady who has been married for
11 years, no sex. A lady who has been married for 11 years. A lady who has been married. I only speak with those that are married. I get people that are not married, but I just leave them to the Holy Spirit. But I only speak with ladies that are married, or men that are married. Few men reached out. I mean, when the story went viral, that's when some people were in my comments saying, oh my God, I didn't know this was it. They were going through. So also, there's also the fact that they are so silent about it, they don't go to the hospital. But I also noticed that this is misdiagnosed. People are given antibiotics from the hospital.
For vaginismus.
For vaginismus.
And I think I need to say this. So there are two different things. Vaginismus and dyspareunia are different, because dyspareunia is basically painful sex. Mm-hmm. Vaginismus is inability to penetrate. So just think of this.
No entry.
The
slides.
It's
like that. Sorry.
So it's the inability to penetrate. However, with vaginismus, it doesn't mean that the person is not sexually aroused.
No.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
They can be sexually aroused. They can want to have it, but just because this is not possible, it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in dyspareunia, there's entry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's painful.
It's just very
and there
painful.
are other things that could lead to dyspareunia.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be surgical procedures.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it could be even PID.
Mm-hmm.
Pelvic. So
Especially-
most times when they go to GPs, when they go to hospitals, they just assume, oh, it's dyspareunia, it's painful sex.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you should
You
go
should
deeper
ask.
and ask about
Yes.
it so that you can understand if it's is it that there's no penetration at all,
Mm-hmm.
or is. I remember when I said something about not all virgins bleed.
It's a problem.
Page down.
It's
So
a
you're
problem.
not giving excuse to all these people so that somebody will now go and do something. I was like, can't you guys have conversations about, because we keep acting like it does not exist.
Exactly.
Meanwhile,
It sure does.
that's why we're
And there are pastors that in my DM like, oh, how do I protect my daughters? I say, from what now? I don't understand. Now them they fear pass. Now them they fear pass. How do I protect my daughter? What can I do? To do what? So I actually told one pastor, do you want her to have sex for marriage? Let's know where we are going to begin from, because what are you blowing up my phone for?
So aside from the talking to yourself, were there other things?
So there's calculated breathing.
Okay.
Calculated breathing is so what happens is, because you've tried a couple of times and doesn't happen, you communicate to your mind that, so even though naturally you can get aroused, your mind will tell yourself that there's going to be pain there. It will
So you
douse
tense.
it. So upon penetration, I discovered that I was not breathing. You're like this. That's how you are. And that's what's common. That's how you are. So you have to be intentionally present. That's not the time to travel. Come back, because there's work to be done. So you would take breath in, hold it, and when you're releasing your body completely. That's one of the things that
So you're
helped.
releasing and
So was my
relaxing
husband,
at the same time.
my husband and I did the exercise. This was even before we had tried. So upon penetration that day, we were breathing together, releasing. Then you don't go in once. The man doesn't go in once because you will kill her. That's it. So just little by little. And then is it permission granting that the little you go in, you're asking, you take in the pain, be okay enough, then try again. So a lot of times, many men are not patient.
So there's a lot of communication.
Listen, if you come to me and you tell me this is what this is what's happening, my husband is tired, they are trying to, I'll tell you, there's nothing I can do, because you need your husband. There's no woman that gets over vaginismus alone. She can't do it. It's not possible. It's not possible. Because you're there acting like an animal and you expect, it's not possible. It's just like saying the door is not opening. It's both of you that would have a conversation. Okay, move it to this side, do it this way. That's it. That's it. So if you come to me, I had a couple of classes, because I was getting too subsumed. I couldn't respond to every DM. So I advertised class, I put it there. Please, women only married to kind men. That's the criteria. If you come and tell me that the in-law, they're about to chase me, please, I don't know what to do about that matter. Because I've heard a guy drove his wife 2 weeks after, drove his wife with a load and insulted the in-laws. And I'm like, and you're not telling me that what can you do to save which marriage? I don't know. So
I know you're watching this, you. But,
so I've heard so many cases. I had to do a video for an open letter to pastors.
we need to have more
It was so bad. As of December last year, I was so livid. I had to take a break because I wasn't understanding what pastors were doing. Excuse me, sir. Ma, you're not a doctor. When they came to you with it, because somehow they thought that you are the savior of the world, you should have referred them to a doctor or a sex therapist, or say you don't know about it, you will pray. Not that you will tell the woman that she's a witch.
Have you
Why would you do that?
Have you seen the way sex therapists are being treated? Once there's
that
sex therapists in your bio,
but then they're in their DM now. They just say it in public. In the DM, they are there. We sabi you, Sama. You are buying the course how to ride him like a pro. We know you. The form say, you are badass. We know. God of Christ is so funny. It irritates me. This religion thing is so annoying. The way you treat God like he's only for church. It's for everything. He created sex. Were you there when he made it? No now.
Wow.
No. You don't have the wisdom. No, I'm sorry, but like I had to do a video. I had to like do a video. I wore black because I was so angry. What are you doing? You are insulting the woman. You are calling her out on the pulpit. Different cases, oh, different cases.
On the
pulpit. One lady was crying in my DM. The pastor had on the pulpit. You know, I said he didn't say so. Like they went to see the pastor for counseling on Saturday. On Sunday, and just like some women will be withholding sex from job. Sir, forget pulpit. If we remove the pulpit, can you face me one on one? It's not pulpit advantage that you have. I mean, so I had to do video. I had to do a video. And I had to do a video for the husbands as well. Because it felt like boys were getting married. That's it. Like you're a child. That's it. I understand. Say, it's not as if she doesn't want to give you the sex. But there's a problem here. And you're already calling her names. You're insulting her. You're making the house unbearable. You're telling her that 12-year-olds have sex. Sir,
and so
you are a child. You are, in fact, children have sense, better sense than you. How can you not have empathy? You married her. You married her. And they expect me to be petting them. Sir, please, no, get out. That's what I told them in the video. You can as well get out. What? She's in pain. You can see her in pain. There was one lady, she was in a lot of pain. And the husband literally, she had vaginismus, raped her. When he was done, he told her, is that not it? Is that, of course, the next time he wanted to try, it was extra hard.
Extra hard.
It's a psychological thing. Who raised you? And you want me to come and beg you? So usually when they reach out to me, they're like, "Oh, please just come and tell him." Come and tell who?
I think that one of the prerequisites for marriage should be kindness.
Yes.
Because it's as simple as seeing someone. I mean,
my husband,
it took you 9 months. 10,
a year.
1 year, basically.
A year.
It took you 1 year. Now, it took, yes, in as much as he was going through it, there was kindness.
Yes, there was.
So,
my husband, no, there was. As in, people literally they lauded him. Of course, there were people like, "Oh, just be grateful you didn't cheat." I'm like, I don't understand. I don't guess. I don't understand. People that have sex with their husbands and the husband cheats. It's not about that. Is a kind man, a sensible person. That's it. That's it. People are. We need to. I mean,
okay.
And it's Christian. Do you get where my pain is?
I do.
You are a pastor. Some of you are ministers. I just want to call your names. Popular people, ministers. You are pastors. You get married. Then you're not saying, "Hey, it's pastor that forced me to marry you." Did he force you to sleep? People have annoyed. This is a head. That's why I reached out. I said, "Doctor, please help my life."
We need to. So there are. Now we know that this is not as uncommon.
It's not.
As many.
It's very common.
It's actually very common, and I think I need to say this. So if you are here and you're watching this, I want you to understand first of all that you're not alone.
Well, I mean,
it's not just you. Please tell them.
Who are many? There are plenty. They do my DM.
So,
there are plenty.
It's not just you, and there is help. There is relief. You just heard a couple of the things that she said. When it comes to the psychological, aspect of it, you need to first deal with certain things that might be contributing to that. Sometimes it could be a sexual abuse issue. Sometimes even as children.
Yeah, I was sexually abused, but I think I'd gotten over it. Maybe not. When I spoke with a psychologist, it was like he doesn't think it's from, because he asked some questions after. After. So he was like, he doesn't think it's from there. It's just, for me, it was more of the where my mind was. I'd seen sex as bad for a long time.
So sexual abuse, religious, indoctrination.
Yes.
Sometimes it's the mindset you even have about sex. So it means that it just creates.
There's such a thing as fear of sex.
Oh yes, there is.
There is. I had to do posts. Fear. People are literally afraid of sex. People are getting married. There was a lady at a bridal shower. She broke down. They called me. They had to call me. So I had to speak with her. She was getting married the next day. And the fear, so bridal shower, they were doing a lot of innuendos and all of that. And it was just too much for her. Because apparently she had been nursing it. She couldn't tell her fiancé. I mean, she didn't have vaginismus. She just had the fear of sex.
And then it's tomorrow.
And it's tomorrow.
Well,
Breathe.
Yes. This is a lot to take in, actually. It is.
Yeah.
Because even as much as, yes, you come in contact with a lot of people who have issues, sometimes we also need to be upfront about those conversations.
Yeah.
We need to have sex schools.
Yes.
People need to learn about sex. Sex is not bad.
Marital counseling that they
You
do in
know,
church.
Exactly.
There should be sex class.
When
There should be sex class.
and even sex classes in premarital counseling should be wholesome.
Yeah.
You don't just
It will pay you small.
Yes.
Do you understand?
You know.
Do you understand? It will pay you small. Answer that. That's it.
So, Tito, this conversation.
Just pronounce my name like an Igbo man.
My dear, I'm proudly Igbo.
It's
So,
cute.
all this, phonetics, even the Italian man speaks English with that.
No, it's fine. My name is not English, show. Please,
Exactly. But whatever I'm pronouncing has to have an Igbo accent.
Yeah.
Have you seen
fine.
DB Aproko? That's a different.
Okay, yeah, true. I have.
So, what are some action points? Because I'm sure someone is watching this now. They're wondering.
For someone that has
For
it.
someone that has it, what are like some steps that they can take? We're not saying do the entire class, of course, but at least let them understand that there's some steps you can take to get this better.
So I would say, let me first speak with the spouse. I would say that I understand that this is hard for you because you are going through both the primary and the secondary emotion, in the sense that you are feeling it at the same time you are feeling your wife feeling it. So I empathize with you. It's not easy. Also, please create an environment, an atmosphere where she can thrive, she can heal. That's majorly the job. That environment, protect her from in-laws, from friends, from just protect her. Nobody, people that you don't trust, they don't have to know. You don't have to tell your pastor. You don't have to. It's not a what's that thing? Spirit husband thing. It's not that. Well, yeah, I had to deal with that. I've held him. It's not that. It's just a psychological thing that can be sorted and will be sorted. So to the woman, affirmations work for me. Affirmations work for me a lot. That's because I had to retrain my mind to accept this as good. And not just good, because I always tell ladies, I don't move you from no sex to sex. I move you from no sex to great sex. You can have great sex with your husband. You can enjoy yourselves. So you can have that back of your mind mentally. It's a psychological thing. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You need to understand that. And I hope that I'm an example to you that you can have great sex. I mean, I'm glowing. What do you think? Boo? So that's it. Just rest. And then also, please, stress and you are enemies. In this, anything psychological stress, as per run, don't even try and negotiate. Run from it, because it does worse to your body than any other thing, than even the drugs, the antibiotics. The stress, the psychological stress does worse. So run from it. So yeah, I think those things work.
This is a lot, but thank you.
Thank you for having me.
We'll call you back.
Okay.
Because
No
I'm
problem.
sure there will be other questions. Exactly. So we would now tackle it from an angle of deliberate, subtopics, especially in this conversation. Now we just give them an overview of what's happening.
No problem.
We'll tackle this. We'll get this spread out so that more people can experience freedom.
Yes.
And know how sweet this thing really
is. It's really nice.
For now, I'm sure
Thank you guys for having me.
If you want to reach out to Tito, our handles will be in the caption. And also, don't forget to subscribe, share, comment. The more you do these things, the more other people can see the video. The more other people see the video, the more other people can experience freedom. You don't even know whether your neighbor is suffering from it, that your sister that refused to tell you anything is also suffering from it. Let them experience freedom. Comment now. Share. Share it in your church group.